As Australians near retirement, many are rethinking the traditional approach of suddenly leaving full-time work. Instead, a new trend is gaining popularity, gradually reducing workdays before fully retiring. Phasing out of work in this way has a number of benefits, and a transition to retirement pension is the key to helping you do it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how a transition to retirement pension works, including when you can start one, how tax is applied, and the pros and cons, and 5 reasons why almost every Australian should start a TTR pension as they approach retirement. I'm Chris Strano, Managing Partner of Toro Wealth, where we specialise in providing retirement planning advice for 50 to 70-year-olds. I'm also the founder of superguy.com.au. If you're new here, make sure you click that subscribe button and hit the notifications bell so that you get notified each time I release a new video. And as always, this video is general advice only and does not constitute personal financial advice, so please read the disclaimer below. A transition to retirement pension is a retirement income stream that you can start with all or some of your superannuation accumulation balance. To be eligible to start a TTR pension, you need to have at least attained age 60. However, there is no need for you to be retired or have quit your job. You can start a TTR pension even if you are still working. Once you start a TTR pension, you must receive an income of between 4% and 10% of your account balance each financial year. The 4% and 10% is recalculated each year on the 1st of July, and you can change the amount and the frequency of payments at any stage throughout the year, provided that on the 30th of June each year, you have received payments between 4% and 10% of your account balance. All TTR pension payments are received completely tax-free. Now, before we get into the benefits of a TTR pension, I just want to highlight the main differences between an account-based pension and a TTR pension, because some people aren't quite sure of what each one is or why you would have one over the other. So basically, an account-based pension is a much more flexible version of a TTR pension. And ideally, you want an account-based pension over a TTR pension, but you must satisfy more definitions around retirement before you can start one, whereas a TTR pension allows you to start one as soon as you reach age 60. They operate essentially the same way. However, there are 3 main differences. Number 1, income thresholds. A TTR pension limits the income that can be drawn each year to a maximum of 10% of your account balance, whereas an account-based pension has no upper threshold. With an account-based pension, you can withdraw the total balance in one single year if you wish. Number 2, tax on earnings. Investment earnings within a TTR pension account are taxed at up to 15%, whereas earnings within an account-based pension are all received tax-free. Speaking of tax, my 6-step super check gives a great overview of the taxes within super, plus heaps of other really helpful retirement planning tips. You can grab the 6-step super check for free right now. I've put a link in the description below this video. Alright, and lastly, as I alluded to earlier, eligibility criteria. The only requirement to start a TTR pension is that you need to have reached age 60, whereas there are additional retirement definition requirements you need to meet to start an account-based pension. That is, until you reach age 65, at which stage you can start one regardless of your employment status. So basically, apart from the upper income threshold, the tax on earnings and the conditions required to start each pension, everything else remains the same. And despite an account-based pension being more favourable over a TTR pension, there are still many benefits with starting a TTR pension. So what are the benefits of a transition to retirement pension? And why would you start one? Well, the 5 main benefits of commencing a transition to retirement pension include, number 1, reduced working hours. You can reduce your working hours in the lead up to retirement and use your TTR pension income to supplement your work-related earnings. For example, if you reduce from 5 days work down to 3, you can use a TTR pension to top up your reduced income. Number 2, you can ease into retirement. Accessing your super and reducing your work days without fully retiring gives you the opportunity to see if you're ready to retire or not. As exciting as retirement may seem, we find that our clients seek most comfort in knowing they can afford to retire if they want to, knowing that they can continue to work on their terms. This seems to be more important to people than retirement itself. Dipping your toes into retirement by using a TTR pension can give you a better idea if you're ready to fully retire or not. Because in an article written by the ABC, data suggests that many people were leaving the workforce for a year for typical retirement hobbies such as gardening or golf, but becoming tired of that lifestyle and then returning to the workforce, usually part-time. Okay, and the third benefit is to pay off debt. You can start a TTR pension and use the income to pay off debt faster, which could help ensure that you're debt-free upon eventual retirement. One of the major stresses in the lead up to retirement is residual debt and trying to figure out how it will be paid off with what funds. So reducing debt faster in the lead up to retirement can give you a better idea of where you stand financially. So even if you continue to work full-time, a TTR pension can give you that additional tax-free income that can go straight towards paying off debt. Another reason to start a TTR pension might be to reduce tax. Making salary sacrifice or personal contributions to super and then replacing it with tax-free income from a TTR pension can help minimize your overall tax. This is commonly referred to as a TTR strategy and basically allows you to simultaneously reduce your tax and increase your super balance. I've added a link in the description below showing you exactly how this strategy works. A less commonly known reason to start a TTR pension is part of a recontribution strategy. Receiving tax-free TTR pension payments and contributing the equivalent amount back into an accumulation account as a non-concessional contribution can convert taxable elements into tax-free elements, which may reduce potential death taxes without reducing your super balance, and it can also protect against potential changes to super rules in the future if the government once again taxes pension payments for people over age 60. So now that you know what a TTR pension is and the benefits, how do you start one? Well, provided that you have attained age 60, you can use your superannuation accumulation savings to commence a TTR pension, regardless of your employment status. To start a transition to retirement pension, the first step would be to contact your superannuation fund and see if they offer a transition to retirement income stream product. If they do, you can compare it against the TTR pensions offered by other superannuation providers in terms of cost and the investment options available. If your super fund doesn't offer TTR pensions, you might choose a superannuation fund that does. The next step is to decide how much of your super accumulation balance you would like to transfer to a TTR pension and make an application to start a TTR pension with that amount. Once you start a TTR pension, you will need to draw an income of between 4% and 10% of the account balance, and this is pro rata for partial years. Depending on what your super fund offers, you may be able to receive payments weekly, fortnightly, monthly, quarterly, or even as a one-off annual payment. Now, just some things to consider before starting a TTR pension. Firstly, how much will you be starting it with? Most people will transfer the majority of their super accumulation balance and leave just enough in the accumulation account for the account to remain open so that future contributions can continue to be made into it, because super contributions cannot be made into a pension account. Another consideration is that if you have insurances within your accumulation account, you want to make sure that there is enough of a balance to continue funding those premiums. What about tax? Is tax something that you need to consider prior to commencing a TTR pension? The tax considerations of a transition to retirement pension are quite simple. All TTR pension income is tax-free, and all investment earnings within a TTR pension account are taxed at 15%. Capital gains tax is reduced to 10% if the investment sold was owned for longer than 12 months. TTR pension income has no effect on your personal marginal tax rates, but a TTR strategy can dramatically reduce your personal income tax obligations. I have another video showing you exactly how a TTR strategy works, and the link is in the description below. If you still have a TTR pension in place once you reach age 65, it should automatically convert into an ordinary account-based pension, removing that upper income threshold and providing tax-free investment earnings within the account. The reason a TTR pension converts to an ordinary account-based pension at age 65 is because age 65 is a full superannuation condition of release, giving you unrestricted access to your super regardless of your employment status. Also, commencing a TTR pension does not affect the number of hours that you are able to work or the amount of income that you can earn. At the end of the day, if you are planning to work beyond age 60, you should certainly be considering the benefits of a transition to retirement pension to either reduce work, ease into retirement, minimize tax, and increase your super balance. In fact, almost every Australian should start a TTR pension as they approach retirement. Should you choose to start a transition to retirement pension, It's important to review the investments that will support the pension each year, the starting balance, and the income drawdown to ensure that your TTR pension is being optimised. Superannuation and taxation rules, including those relating to TTR pensions, are changing all the time, so it's important to keep abreast of these and how it may affect your retirement plans. Engaging the services of a financial advisor who specialises solely in retirement planning can help ensure that your strategy is being implemented correctly. If you need help with your retirement plans, our financial planning firm Toro Wealth helps 50 to 70-year-olds optimise their financial position in the lead up to retirement and feel confident about retirement. Go to torowealth.com.au to find out more. If this video was helpful, remember to click the thumbs up button to show that you liked it and the subscribe button for more content.